when you're raising 3 kids, you start really defining yourself as just a mother. I realized that I needed something to help me kind of reconnect with who I am. So yeah, I started with making my kids and my family's birthday cakes.
All right, guys, today I'm sitting with Jasmine Brandt, the owner of Coeur Cakes in Coeur Cakes, Idaho. And what's interesting about her story is she didn't start in some huge bakery with a kitchen. She started the way a lot of meaningful businesses did, in her home, in her own kitchen, just wanting to make birthdays special for her own family. Jasmine, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure meeting with you.
This is our second episode, guys. If you want to see Jasmine's first episode where we knock Aaron Kimball down a peg, what would be a good name for Aaron Kimball? Did we say predator? Predator.
Yeah.
He's a predator. If you want to watch Aaron Kimball's episode, description's below. All right, Jasmine. So before Coeur Cakes existed, you were in your kitchen, you were making cakes for your family. What point in your life were you at that time?
So I was currently a stay-at-home mom. I was raising 3 kids, and as much as I love being a mother, that's my main role. I needed something to kind of put my creativity into. We, as mothers, definitely start defining ourselves as just a mom, and I think it's really important for us to just start in finding who we are again and the next chapter in our life. Birthdays were always really important to me because I wanted my kids and my husband to, feel special during those times. And so birthday cakes can get expensive. And I loved the idea of creating something that would just kind of honor them in that way. So yeah, I started with making my kids and my family's birthday cakes. And that's where it started.
Was there a time when you're in your kitchen making your cakes when you made a birthday cake and you were like, wait a minute, this might be more than just a birthday cake for one of my kids?
Yes, it was my daughter's 3rd birthday, and I made her birthday cake. It was a little unicorn cake, and I loved it. I got so immersed into it. My husband always tells me I have this jet line focus where when I'm immersed in something, I can't hear anything. It's a start to finish. So it was my daughter's 3rd birthday cake, and I was like, wow, that turned out really nice. And even my husband thought so. And I posted a photo online, and a lot of my family and friends were like, that's really good. And so I was like, I think I'm going to give it a shot. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole process. So
yeah, that kind of brings me to a point because a lot of parents, and I'd probably say more mothers and fathers, they're kind of in a phase where they love being a parent. There's nothing better than being a parent.
Absolutely.
But there also comes this point where it's you want something that's just yours. Mm-hmm. Was there a point where you realized that? And was there an epiphany moment?
So being a mom is the most important role in my life, hands down. When you're raising 3 kids, you start really defining yourself as just a mother. I realized that I needed something to help me kind of reconnect with who I am. And also, you're not the same person as you were before you were a mom. You are a completely whole new person. Becoming a mom completely transforms a woman's brain. So you're also navigating not who you used to be, but who you are becoming. So in that, I've always wanted to do something creative. I always wanted to have an outlet, So that's kind of where it came in. It was just a fun thing to do. It gave me another purpose.
Sounds like you identified that right away. You voiced this to your husband.
Yes.
So having the support of whether it's family, a husband, a best friend, that support, tell me, is it needed? Because it's almost like, do I trust my own thoughts? Is this a good idea? Mm-hmm. And having that soundboard to bounce it off of. So what was it like when you brought this up to your husband? You're like, hey, I think I want to do this. What was his response like?
He was 100% so supportive. He's always a problem solver. So he likes to plan things out. He said, okay, so this is what you want to do. These are the things we have to think of. Why don't you start making some things, some cakes, hitting up some friends, reaching out to people and just asking them, do you want a cake? And just give it to them and see what they think. You need the feedback. He's very much he likes to look into each and every detail in order to become successful. Bryson has always been supportive of whatever I do. And that has been he's been the backbone, definitely, because even still today, I'm very successful, but I still have that doubt in my mind. And it's so nice just to lean in on someone and say, hey, will you come take a look at this creation I make and give me some actual like criticism of what you think? Because that another thing is he is always honest. He is never just saying things I want to hear. He's never just like, yeah, you go for it. He is sitting there being like the best critique person, and that helps with growth. If you can't hear critique and criticism, then there's no room for growth there.
Honest feedback.
Honest feedback.
And it sounds like you're at a position where you're accepting of the feedback.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't take it personally at all.
Was there a moment when you made your cake and he was like, babe, you're on to something here?
Yeah, he's my biggest cheerleader. I can't think of the exact cake, but he will walk into my little bakery and he'll be like, oh, shit, that looks so good, And then sometimes he'll walk in and be like, oh, you need to redo that, So those are the things that I get from him, but he is just like my biggest hype man. It was definitely the moment when I made, which is my signature style, is a Victorian vintage cake. Those are my go-to cakes. And once I created that was the moment that I was like, this is what I love. So this was the winter of 2024. You get cabin fever. You're trying to figure out things to do. So in all of our birthdays span within 2 months, back-to-back cakes for the whole family. So that's when it started. I officially opened the doors to Coeur Cakes in April of last year of 2025.
What does it mean to do something like this as a family? Because you've got your husband, your kids probably get to get involved. Mm-hmm. Making cakes is one of those things where I imagine there's lots of room for minor errors because it's frosting and stuff. So the kids get to get involved.
It's definitely something we're proud of together. Our kids definitely get to see us grow. Their mom and dad both, have created a business, with their bare hands just from nothing. And I think that's very inspiring. As they get older, they'll have something to kind of go into as they grow up.
And this really is a business. I mean, you're not just making cakes and selling cakes. There's a whole process behind it. There's tracking, there's ordering supplies. You're now getting into like the CRM side of things where it's follow-ups, callbacks, tracking your leads, really all the things that any successful business needs to scale and grow, or else you kind of get stuck in that phase where it's working, people like it, but how do you go to the next phase?
Correct.
And that's where you see a lot of these businesses go, I need to go hire a ton of people. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of lose the grasp. I just worked for a company recently that grew very fast, went doing it out of their home to scaling to employees, and then lost complete control of the direction of her business because you're delegating things without truly understanding the process yourself.
Absolutely.
So how important is it for you to understand each process of the client journey, the behind the scenes journey, to make sure when you are ready to hire somebody to come in that you can immediately know what their job should be, what they're tasked, and if there's any mistakes?
Oh, it's huge. If you don't have control or even knowledge of where you're at, what your foundation is, it is super easy for that foundation to just kind of like shatter, so you definitely need to have, it's not just about being presentable and making cakes, selling cakes, taking people's money, buying supplies. There's so much more to that. And without Bryson, without my family involved, I would be like completely
lost,
scattered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely lost.
It's tough. Me and Shelly have talked about that in the past. There's different types of personalities, and to run a business, sometimes it's like there's the creative side, and then there's the side that it maybe gets less spotlight, but it's equally as important.
Absolutely.
Because without the back end, without the processes, without the customer service, without sometimes the encouraging words, you can get to a point where you get in your own head.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you start taking these routes and start kind of addressing these problems you're having, you kind of open a new door to the people you meet, like you. I never would have thought that I would have, come across or crossed paths with anyone like you and like the podcast and, you just get introduced to so many more people who it really just opens your mind how supportive and how huge our community is. Like, it's so wonderful, you know.
The creative doors open more and more, not just like literally like this, but then where your mind goes, because you consider yourself a creative person from what you said.
Absolutely.
You know, prior to this, you were into the painting, music, crafting, crocheting.
Yeah.
And out of all those things, you know, you stated something about working with your hands. What made you land on cakes?
Cakes are for life's most meaningful moments, which is, you know, my slogan. It enhances a celebration, whatever the celebration is, whatever the event is. It's just there is a centerpiece that is just lovely, and it brings people together, and they get to indulge and just have this like guilt-free pleasure that just enhances the whole experience. So I really loved that aspect about creating cakes and desserts and things that bring people together. It's not about cake. It's not about how it looks. It's not about that. It's about what is happening around the cake and what it brings to the table, like literally and figuratively. So I also love the aspect of there's so many different routes. Like not one cake is the same. They're all different in their own way, especially when you have a creator like me who I don't like to make my cakes all look the same. I don't have like
patterns and templates.
Right, exactly. They all are literally just flowing out of me in that very moment. When someone says, I want you to have creative freedom on this design, and I'm like, okay, that's great. I make the best work when it comes to that, you know, and then they're like, so what are you going to do? I'm like, I truly don't know until my hands are doing it, because it just flows.
Do they give you inspiration sometimes? Like, here's photos. So let's talk about the cake you made for Shelly for her birthday.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm telling you, the cake was so good. Shelly hates frosting typically, which I didn't tell you.
I hate frosting.
And this cake was loaded with frosting. And actually, there's a picture of it right here. But immediately when she's tasting this cake, we didn't know what was different about it because we didn't see the magic go into it. But it didn't taste overly sweet, but it was sweet. It was exactly what you would want in a like perfect cake. And it was small, but the thing was,
it was big.
How high are they?
So each one of my layers are about 1.5 to 2 inches.
And how many layers was that one?
2. So it was about 4 to 5, maybe pushing 6
Okay.
with the frosting.
With the frosting.
On it.
Yeah. We munched on that thing for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you, does the average person finish their cake? Now, I'm sure if it's for like a kid's birthday party, it probably gets devoured in the moment.
Yeah.
But when it's like a husband buying a cake for his wife,
yeah,
you have snacks for days.
For days.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about my job. It's not about creating. It's about what happens behind the scenes.
So going into a business now, you went from this like creating, being an artist, finding something that you loved, finding purpose for yourself, still being able to spend time with your kids, something your husband was supporting, and you turned this into a business. You slowly started turning your kitchen into a bakery.
Yes.
When did you really go, this is real?
When my husband said, you need to get out of the kitchen. He really was like, I can't sit here and like watch the kids while you're standing right in front of them as basic like eye candy, you know, because they see mom and you're so immersed into this. So he recommended and he built with his bare hands a whole room dedicated to Coeur Cakes. And that's when it really hit me. I was like, wow. Like,
so that room that I went into, that wasn't there?
No.
Ah.
No, Bryson built that completely.
What was it? Just an upstairs?
Just a bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think just seeing the business slowly have like forward big steps, one little bit at a time. You know, first he built the bakery for me, and then he built the Coeur Cakes mobile. And then, you know, we started getting these like titles like top 5 bakery in North Idaho. I got top 3 in the state based on Google business rate. And it's just been insane, you know, just watching it. And it's just like still to this day, I'm like, wow. And in my mind, like there is no limit, you know, the sky's the limit, as they say. So I'm here for it. I'm here for all business ideas. Again, I thank you for having me on the podcast, because this too, it's like another big step that I'm like, wow, So it's huge. I'm excited. I'm excited for the future, and it's just great.
I love getting to showcase, awesome kick-ass things in the community.
Absolutely.
And you're about as local as it gets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the meaning behind the name, Coeur Cakes is a beautiful name, but a lot of people don't realize that it actually has like pretty strong meaning to it.
It does. So Coeur d'Alene means heart of an all, and that's AWL. So Coeur obviously means heart, and not only do I specifically specialize in heart cakes, it just is kind of a metaphor of how much love I pour into each cake. So that's where the meaning kind of derives from. It just holds my whole heart, and when you're having your special centerpiece, you are kind of experiencing, not only are you having one of the most special days of your life, you are experiencing something that is very special to me as well. So we kind of have that like untalked about connection in a sense.
How many friendships have spawned out of this cake business?
Oh gosh, multiple. A lot. And it's actually been so amazing. Like, our community is so huge and supportive. Like, once you really make a lasting impression on somebody, not only through the cake, it's just extremely beautiful seeing what kind of like blossoms out of that. I have people who are constantly hyping me up on the social media, word of mouth spreads. I have friendships of like with you, with other, I specifically think of Athena. She's like magic. She comes and helps me with my workshops sometimes, and she's just like such a good human. There's so many people that I've met that are just so awesome, and it really opens your eyes. Like, there's a lot of people who think that this world is full of like evil and despair, and it's not. It really is not. There's so much love and warmth everywhere.
So you also mentioned you're a perfectionist and integrity is super important to you.
Insanely.
Why does it matter to you so much?
I just value honesty and accountability, and I value someone that you can trust. There's nothing that you can't do with those types of traits. So I'm a huge believer in honesty and accountability, kindness, warmth, all of those things kind of tell a person who you are without telling them who you are. If I mess something up, I'm going to fix it. I'm not afraid to say, hey, I did that wrong. If you tell me, hey, you did that wrong, I respect that. And I said, you're right. Let's fix it. I want to be the best that I can be for you in this most special moment. So integrity is huge. Absolutely.
Well, and talking about like what Coeur Cake means today. So you started Coeur Cakes in your kitchen.
Yes.
For you and your family. And that now allows you to be a part of other people's families.
Yes. It's so amazing. It's kind of in the sense where not only are you doing like birthday parties, right? Like, you have a child and every year you're ordering from the same people. Not only am I getting to like be a part of their journey of growing, but there's like weddings, and then this couple goes along and has a baby, and then you're doing a gender reveal and then a baby shower, and it's just like, wow, you feel like you're really connected to these people, without being completely connected to them. But it's just like so beautiful watching people grow and like go with their life.
Your Google reviews, you've got a flawless 5-star solid review, and you've got how, like, what, 60?
I have 50.
50.
Right
okay,
now.
50 reviews.
50 and climbing, man.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You've been technically in business almost a year.
Not even
a year.
Yeah.
We've been doing podcasting for like a decade, and I've got like 12 reviews. So
Really?
You're doing something
Well,
right.
I will give you a review.
I'll give you one too. Jasmine, when someone orders Coeur Cakes from you for the very first time, what is it you hope they feel?
So I'm hoping they feel excited and special on their already special day. I hope it brings some meaningful, memories to their celebration that last forever. They'll always think back. I have a lot of clients that reach out and say, I'm ready for you to do my son or daughter's next birthday. We still remember and talk about your cake from a whole year ago. So it's just something that it's like a core memory. that I'm creating for them. And I absolutely love that.
It's pretty awesome because it's the best compliment you can probably get is somebody referring you to their friend or their family member, because you've already openly said you hate asking for business. You don't like reaching out and calling people saying, hey, you want to order a cake?
No.
This is kind of like it sells itself.
Exactly. I like to keep it organic. I like to not pressure my clients. I'm here if you need me. If not, no worries. I've had a lot of people like, say, hey, maybe next time. And I'm like, yeah, I hope you find your perfect fit. If I'm not that, cool. I am like all about you. I'm not about me. I'm not here trying to get your money and do this. I want you to have the best day of your life. And however you go about that, I want you to do that.
Do you and your family watch any cake shows like Is It Cake?
We used to. I can't anymore.
How come?
Just because I'm like constantly, I'm still working at that point. You're watching the cake and you're just like, it's always cake, 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 cake. So I have to take a break. My kids love it, which is fine. The husband and I like.
Do you notice like in movies now when there's a cake or do you see cake differently?
Yes.
Is it always a good thing?
No. And yes. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I could have executed that cake so good. And it looks like trash on the movie. Or there's some that are like beautifully done. Or there's like cartoon cakes where you're like, man, I should recreate that and like bring it to life. You know what I mean?
You had mentioned Coeur Cake mobile. And when you first said it, I was thinking like a mobile app. But you're actually talking about like a mobile display.
Yes.
What is that?
So it is a mobile cake bar. I bring it to events such as like Rebel Junk Show, we're just farmers markets, any events, that are local. And what it really is, it's also available for rent. So if you have a wedding and you don't know what flavors to get, or if you want something like special and exciting that people are going to be like, whoa, this is something that would be perfect for you, baby showers, anything.
Is this like a mobile cake cart with like sampling dishes?
So what it is, yes, in a sense. I bring little tins of cakes and you can choose the flavors or I provide the flavors depending on what the event is. And then there's 9 toppings and there's a handful of variety of frostings. And what you get to do is you get to come up and create your own little custom cake on the go. So you can choose your toppings, you can choose your frosting, and then I package it up and you get to go on your day and enjoy your cake.
Oh, it's like Build-A-Bear for cakes.
You Build-A-Bear for cakes, yeah.
Do you do that for like kids events too? Like kids want, that'd be great for like a birthday party. Let's make cakes. We get to play with our hands and eat what we're done with.
Absolutely.
Instead of all this stuff like clay and stuff that's going to make a mess and then you got to clean it up and don't put your fingers in your mouth. This is literally put your fingers in your mouth when you're done.
Exactly.
I'll probably edit that part out, but
yeah.
But so yeah, mobile cake cart.
Mobile cake cart up for rental for any event.
Is that on the website?
It is on the website.
Okay.
And if you are out on an event, maybe I'll see you there.
Jasmine, if someone wants to follow your work or order a cake, what's the best way to find you, reach out to you?
You can find me on Google, Coeur Cakes. That's probably your best bet. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. My email is coeurcakes@gmail.com. Very simple. My phone number is also on Google, 208-449-7551. So if you want to look at my work, I'm going to be having some help updating my website here soon, hopefully.
Yep. And all of her contact information is also in the description of this video. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, it's all in the show notes. Don't forget to also go check out all of her social media. Watch her prior interview we did a couple weeks ago where she was really creeped out by a local videographer, Sandpoint Video Productions, Aaron Kimball. If you're watching, we're still waiting for an apology and we would still love the raw footage to kind of prove the point. But aside from that, if you had some advice for the either younger version of you or somebody that's just getting into like the entrepreneur world, whether it's art or anything else, what's some advice that you wish you had earlier and that you would like to bestow onto somebody else?
Just do it one step at a time. Just today, focus on today. Don't focus on tomorrow. Don't focus on yesterday or your past. Just focus on right now, step by step. Just do it. Whatever it is you want to do, just start.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Maybe we can get sponsored by Nike.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Maybe it shouldn't be just do it.
Fuck it. Just do it.
Just do it. No, I think that some advice would be that you can do anything that you really set your mind to, and whatever that is, whatever you want in life, I think you should always speak from like your heart's passion, what brings you joy, because if you follow that route, work isn't going to be work. It's going to be fun. You're going to want to do this. You're going to want to build this website. You're going to want to put in the work just so you can continue to do what you love. So that would probably be the biggest advice I would give myself and anyone else, is just to really find something you love and are passionate about. And you know what it is. You don't think you know what it is, but you do. It's in there. You just have to find it.
Well, Jasmine, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. If you want to check more out about what Jasmine has going on, feel free to follow her in the links below. If you're interested in sharing your story on one of our episodes, there's a link you can use to fill out a short form. And if you're interested in sponsoring one of our episodes, let me know. Thanks, Jasmine.
Thank you so much.
Everybody have a great day. People helping people, communities method, one day at a time. Peace.